flames. This right here is an embodied form of the violet ray spectrum.
Tap in and tune in Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Grand Rising with ChristoLight, your sacred space for discovering the Ascended Masters in crystal healing. Ashe.
If your morning felt like a whisper, you're about to hear a gentle roar named Lady Nada. Ready? Welcome to Grand Rising with ChristoLight. Tonight, we peel back the veil on Lady Nada, guardian of the ruby gold ray, whose energy blends fierce compassion with transformative clarity. We'll trace her lifetime threads, service healing, a devotion to awakening heart fire in others. Expect surprising stories, symbolic signs to look for, a quick practice to feel her frequency now. Tune in, let a golden ruby current nudge open what's been closed. Grand Rising starts now. Are you ready to meet her?
Grand day. Welcome in, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining me for this live, fresh episode today on this Wednesday for the 6th ray Chohan. And again, a Chohan is a ascended master, but not just an ascended master, but also the leader or the chief of a certain ray of light or a dimension of light. Now, we've gone through the first 5 rays of divine dimensional light, and we've covered each Chohan or chief that is the lead representative and the lead character that helps bring the qualities and traits of the first 5 divine rays of light. Now, today we're going to be exploring the 6th ray of light, which ties in with the ruby and the gold frequencies. Now, the ruby and gold frequencies we're going to touch on a little bit and talk about what kind of attributes, what kind of characteristics, and what kind of empowerment tools they bring into our conscious life. Now, if you guys want to go deeper and learn about what Chohans are and what Ascended Masters are specifically, you guys can go into my series on the YouTube channel, Sacred Light Broadcast Network, go to playlist, go to Grand Rising with ChristoLight, and then if you just look through the playlist, you'll find different episodes on different aspects of our universe and matrix that we are part of. So just check it out. There's many, many different things in there. And you guys can also find anything else regarding the things that have came before this. We've had episodes about timelines. We've had episodes about the negative agenda. We've had episodes about the Galactic Federation. We've had episodes about the different star nations from Sirius to Lyra to the Pleiades. And also we've talked about our galactic wars and the different wars and different historical timeline pieces that we've had in our time as well. So it's really cool stuff. If you're someone that loves the esoterics, if you love the galactic knowledge, and you love the ancient knowledge as well. And before we deep dive and begin, I just want to give you guys all the reminder that there are some retreats coming up this year that I'm hosting. You can also check out and book one-on-one healing sessions with me anytime. So if you're struggling, if you feel like you need a shamanic guide, you need someone that can hold space for you, help you get some spiritual guidance, transmute your emotions, be able to heal and overcome your traumas. Those are things I'm very devoted to helping and have successfully helped many with. I also help with overall life guidance as well. But if you go to the QR code up in that corner, or down in the link in the ticker or in the description, you guys can just browse and check out any of my one-on-one services. I also do Reiki, and I do online guidance as well. You guys can find my retreats on there, so you can check out what retreats are available and sign up for the retreats through that link as well. And then lastly, I'm partnered with a organic reishi coffee as well. So if you guys are into the coffee game, you can get some really high quality, organic, clinical grade, lab tested coffee through me as well. So I'll just go ahead and leave that QR code up on the screen for you guys, and you guys can just scan that as you feel. So before we deep dive and explore our focus for today on the 6th ray Chohan, we're going to go ahead and take a rewind to yesterday and have a refresher on the 5th ray Chohan, Hilarion, of the green healing, truth, and science ray of light.
In the next episode of Grand Rising with ChristoLight, we dive into Hilarion, the 5th green ray Chohan. Discover his lifetime's healing qualities, why his energy sparks transformation. Expect clarity, practical steps to connect, a few surprising stories that light the path.
The thing is what we do together. So the knowledge is throughout everything in life. It's just a matter of us being open and aware. Wow. What a way to get into healing and truth with the green ray. We haven't even gotten started. Here's the hierarchy of the Temple of Truth on the etheric plane near Crete, Greece. So this etheric retreat temple of the 5th ray, the green ray of the temple to Greece, a short time before the sinking of the continent. The focus of truth that he established became the focal point for the oracles of the Delphi. So how much of us know about the Delphi? As the white ray is the ascension plane. So they were incarnated at the same time during Atlantis, upholding the different rays. And they were also holding the teachings of these rays. Now, that means they were present for the fall of Atlantis. And they were the ones that governed and served, carrying the codes, carrying the knowledge and wisdom of these different flames in schools over to these new continents. The holder, the high priest of the Temple of Truth, he made sure that the books, the text, the scriptures, the ways of practicing and integrating when it comes to the green ray of light, he made sure that those things were brought from Atlantis over to ancient Greece. So that Yeshua was incarnated, Hilarion was incarnated as St. Paul at the same time. Because in his lifetime, the Apostle Paul had consented to the stoning of St. Stephen and had actively persecuted and killed Christians, he did not ascend at the conclusion of that life. The taking of life in one incarnation often requires another embodiment to balance that karma.
He healed and exorcised demons. It is written that God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them. His mission lasted 30 years. He set the foundation for the early church. His life as Saint Hilarion. Hilarion was a hermit and healer. He spent 20 years in the desert in preparation for his mission. Some of you remember that Paul spent 3 years in the desert of Saudi Arabia. You may not know that on the etheric octave above Arabia is the retreat of our Lord Jesus Christ, around those areas of the body that require healing. Bone fractures, whatever it may be. The violet flame is essential to healing. Next one. Here is the healing thought form gift of the Archangel of the 5th ray, used by all 5th ray healing masters. The healing thought form consists of 3 concentric spheres. Again, it shows the physical heart in the center. You would visualize this thought form over any area of the body that requires healing.
All right. So that's where we left off yesterday with the green ray, the fifth ray, Chohan, Ascended Master, Hilarion. So it's really cool. Got really into some biblical and, but more on the esoteric and hidden side of things when it came to who St. Paul was. And another cool realization that came up through the own words and through the own experiences of this Chohan, of the fifth Hilarion, who incarnated as St. Paul, actually admitted and had to deliver to humanity that while he was St. Paul, and as St. Paul, he was the one who prescribed and okayed for people to get stoned to death. And what was omitted through the information and the knowledge is that the stoning was actually not of a pure intention, pure will of the creator, the source. And a lot of us, we see that in a text or in a Bible, and we're like, oh, okay, so it was okay to stone people during that time. But what Hilarion says as the incarnation of St. Paul is that he actually had to incarnate again as a human and then go through karmic lessons because of allowing and passing that to happen. So that's something to think about when it comes to our actions, and not only our actions in this human life, but also what kind of actions can carry with us as a soul after we leave this human life. Things to really consider when it comes to this eternal journey that we're on is, are the things I'm doing in this life, are they going to also carry over and affect my consciousness as my spirit goes into my next incarnations? So just remember this one life that we're in as a human body, it's not the only life that we ever live. Now they try to tell us that. And the reason why they tell us that is because then we put ourselves in fight or flight, and then we live our whole entire life in fight or flight instead of living it in grace, harmony, patience, connection. So I'm just going to leave that there. And I'm not going to go any further into that topic. But I think you guys get the idea. And welcome in everyone that's here. Feel free to hit that like, share, subscribe button. Please help the algorithms get this knowledge and information out there for our collective. And feel free to interact and comment throughout the episode as well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and deep dive. Let's go ahead and get the music on. And we're going to go ahead and move on into our text study for the sixth ray Chohan, Lady Nada. Alrighty, go ahead and zoom on in. Lady Nada. Now, Lady Nada, along with many other feminine characters or archetypes, represent this sixth ray. But Lady Nada is the chief or the lord or the head of the Ascended Masters of the sixth ray currently. So some of the others, just as like a nice little insight to the future is, Isis works with the sixth ray. Kuan Yin works with the sixth ray. Mary Magdalene works with the sixth ray. It's a lot of the very feminine rose lineage type of archetypes. So Send the Master Lady Nada is the Chohan of the sixth ray, which is, they say purple and gold, but it's more like a ruby color. So it's like a ruby and gold ray of peace, administration, and service. She is also a member of the Karmic Board, on which she serves as the representation of the third pink ray of divine love. Now, the Karmic Board is a different type of council. The Karmic Board is a council that is basically holding the space for the souls to then come and overlook the life that they had. And then through one of these karmic guides, they help give you the information and give you the guidance, as well as the potential steps that you can take to help release your karmic energy as a soul. And you guys can find the episode about the Karmic Board if you go to the playlist. So from Nada, we learned the practical application of love and the path of personal Christhood through the ministration and service to life. So this Ruby Ray mainly works with service to others, service to Christhood. Embodiments on Atlantis. So on Atlantis, Nada worked in the healing arts and served as a priestess in the Temple of Love. The etheric counterpart of this temple, which is designed after the pattern of a rose, is centered above New Bedford, Massachusetts. So right there in the United States, in Massachusetts, you guys can go connect with the Sixth Ray Temple of Love. She was also embodied as a lawyer of Atlantis, where she championed the cause of divine justice for the downtrodden and oppressed. Nada speaks of her experience in keeping the flame in the last days of Atlantis. So you might notice a correlation in our last few episodes. In the last few episodes, we keep on learning that each one of these Chohans were all actually incarnated at the same time during Atlantis. And while they were incarnated together at the same time during Atlantis, they each upheld different leadership positions on the planet of the mystery schools, the teachings, the esoterics, the knowledge of truth for self-realization. And we're learning about each of these specific aspects now. Yesterday, we learned that with the fifth green ray, or the green flame, which is the flame of truth and healing, we learned that Hilarion, when he was incarnated in Atlantis, he was the temple leader of the Temple of Truth. So he upheld the scriptures, the books, the text, the knowledge of the green ray, or the green energy, and he took that from Atlantis to Greece so that it wouldn't collapse with Atlantis and be forgotten. What we're going to learn here is Lady Nada upheld this sixth flame, or the sixth ray of knowledge, scripture, text, and things that upheld the information in the physicality form. And she took that from Atlantis and then placed it in a different area so that it wouldn't be lost with Atlantis as well. So it's really cool when you see these correlations and you kind of get more of a real story and a real timeline put together of our own human history. So then you can also tell, like, all this ancient knowledge and stuff, it just didn't come from out of nowhere. Like, it's been passed on lineage and generation and generation and generation throughout time. So let's see. Words spoken from Lady Nada when it comes to her experience in keeping the flame in the last days of Atlantis. So how well I remember the last days of Atlantis. Those of us who were keeping the vigil missed the effort of the embodied light bearers have recently gathered at the Royal Teton Retreat to closely examine the causes and conditions that led to the final judgment and that sinking of a continent and its people. The evildoers then and now continue in their evil doing right up to the eve of Colaticism. boasting that they are immune to God's laws, that karma is not real, and that they are the gods of the earth. My service on Atlantis was in law and in law of wholeness. Thus, the science of healing and truth are the right and left hand of the defense of the individual, body and soul. In those days, the manipulators of the law of the fifth ray were as devious in their despisings of the sons of light as they are today. They entered not in the consciousness of God, and they exerted a destructive influence upon those who were entering into a neophytes under the initiates of the mystery schools. The marbled geometric cities of Atlantis, my beloved, were not without the inner retreats of the brotherhood. And Noah himself, the archetype of the great guru, while building his ark, was the mother flame of the ark and the initiator of the embodied sons of God. There were others of our bands who took ships and carried the focuses of these retreats to distant lands and mountaintops, to the near and far east, to the Himalayas, to Europe and to Americas, and to the already established retreats of the archangels. The securing of spiritual force fields and matter is the work of the chalice of the ascended masters. When decay and disintegration beset an age, they mount with wings and as eagles to survey the land and the sea. They take counsel with the Lord's host and with the Lord himself and the three ascended masters who prophesied to Abraham of the birth of Isaac and the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The initiates of the mystery schools are the preachers of righteousness, and they continue to preach the word and its science until the hour of the judgment and their embarking on the ark. 2,700 years ago, in her final incarnation, Nada was the youngest of a large family of exceptionally gifted children. She was tutored by Charity, Archaea of the third ray, is in how to expand the threefold flame of love in her heart for the quickening of the chakras. Of her talented brothers and sisters, she chose to forego pursuing her own career in that embodiment, and instead kept the flame in deep meditation and prayer for her brothers and sisters in their various fields of endeavor. Nada has spoken of that lifetime. I can assure you that the conclusion of my incarnation, when I saw the victory of each of my brothers and sisters, the fullness of my joy was in the heart of love expanded. It seemed to the world, and perhaps even to my own, that I had not accomplished much. But I took my leave into the higher octaves, thoroughly understanding the meaning of the self-mastery of the pink flame. Thus, it was the point of the third ray that I entered into the heart of Christ and saw the application on the sixth ray as ministration and service. Mission today: Ascended Lady, Master Nada, assist ministries, missionaries, teachers, healers, psychologists, counselors, at law and public servants, all who are involved in serving the needs of others. Nada says, it does not matter what your training and what your position. It is not in what you do with your hands, it is what you do with your heart that counts. For as I spent several of my last incarnations in keeping the flame of life anonymously for my family and for other members of the community, so I am able to tell you firsthand what it means to God, what it means to souls evolving on Terra to have someone, that silent, peaceful someone in the midst of activity, silently declaring the law of truth, the law of perfection, the law of victory on behalf of each of who is so busy serving, so busy trying to do good for humanity that does not have time to make the application for him or herself. I would suggest then, if you are looking for a more than ordinary challenge, that you go into your communities with this thought in mind of being a keeper of the flame, of adoring the flame of life in the hearts of hundreds and thousands. If you have professional training or have the ability to acquire that training, then we suggest that you take on greater responsibilities where you can be involved directly in decision making, in drafting legislature, in organizing whether it is men's groups, women's groups, or community groups, working for a cause that is constructive. How often we see in these levels of government and community planning, if there were just one of our keepers of the flame in the midst, how smoothly the process would flow and how encouraged people would be, how their faith would be restored in this representation form of government, which is indeed after the teachings of the Ascended Masters and pattern after that, which is to come in the Golden Age societies that are to be born upon this continent. Wow, it's inspiring. And for my own self, I'm very much in this kind of path right now. I am in a 24/7 devoted path to service to others. And I'm continuously thinking, downloading, connecting with new ways to be able to create spaces for others, to be able to acquire these ascension flames. And that's what it is I and many others on this planet, we carry these ascension flames, and we are creating grid points, creating spaces, sacred containers where these ascension flames can be more accessed in a pure, authentic way for everyone on their individual journey. And that's the goal, is to continue to create access points for these pure divine rays or dimensions to be able to be embodied and experienced more and more for the humans and souls on this planet. And it's funny too, because it says organizing groups. I'm literally organizing a kids group. I'm organizing a men's group. I have a whole entire worldwide community that I've been organizing for years. I'm literally organizing events with local shops and areas all around here. So it's just really cool to feel what it is that I have been in the path of being talked about and reading about it as well. It's really cool because I feel this innate calling through this ruby energy, and something that has been talked about within spiritual communities is that there's been a lot of ruby sun DNA activations happening. And that'd be a topic for another time, really. Or actually, you know what? I'll just go ahead and pull it up real quick and let you guys understand a little bit about what that means exactly, the ruby sun DNA. Because this actually ties directly in with Lady Nada and the ray that she carries. So this is what she's helping us activate, and this is what she's representing when it comes to this ruby ray of energy. And this is going to be on ascensionglossary.com for everyone. Okay. So ruby sun DNA. The grail line of the ruby sun DNA are also referred to as indigo children. I'm sure some of us have heard of that term, indigo children or star seeds, and hold a diamond sun DNA template that is the result of the hybridization between the Nephilim and Elohim genetics. Representatives of the guardian host, such as King Arthur and his Templar team, as well as guardian Akhenaten, chose to embody in a ruby sun DNA template when they came to the earth in order to reclaim and restore the fire letters and time vector codes that were stolen from the Grail line specifically. Then yesterday I was talking about Akhenaten. Well, no, 2 episodes ago, I was talking about Akhenaten, that connection with Amenhotep III, and I think Serapis Bey was Amenhotep III, which is Akhenaten's father. So again, you just seen the connection of the lineages here, So let's see. The DNA template was hijacked in which its coding was used to engineer the 9/11 timelines. And that gets very deep, just how that ties in. Based upon the hijack of the 9D and 11D Diamond Sun DNA coding inherent in the Ruby Sun DNA template, the remaining pure lineages of the Ruby Sun DNA imprint exist on the Earth and off-planet, to which they are in alignment with the cosmic sovereign law of one, in service to other potential evolution, to be able to choose spiritual freedom for themselves and to be released from reincarnation into the AI timelines in the lower densities. So it's talking about restoring the fire letters and the time vector codes. So it's saying that basically how do I sum this all up? So if you look around at the world right now, it's obvious the world is in a corrupt place. The world has been in a corrupt place for a long time. That corruption has something to it. You know, there's something that is behind the corruption and has made it what it is. So that corruption is being described here in this text. When it's talking about fire letters and time and vector codes being stolen from the Grail lines, it's talking about that the knowledge of our truth, you know, the Christ conscious awareness of our existence, it's been hijacked. And those that are posing as the global elites, those that are posing as the forces that be, quote unquote, which I never use that term, you know, they are doing these things. They stole the time vector codes, the fire letters, disorienting our DNA. That's why they poison us in every way that they can. So our Diamond Sun DNA cannot fully come online. The more you pollute and artificialize our DNA, then the less we're going to be able to tap into these organic rays of light. So they're very aware of what they're doing. They're very aware of all of this as well. So last thing I'll read here is, during remote view sessions or during remote session work, Ruby Sun DNA has been mentioned to have correspondences to both competing agendas that involve the war over consciousness. Currently transpiring on the Earth during the Ascension cycle, the Guardian Host agenda is to help humans and hybrids become aware of what is happening on the Earth and to continue to evolve in order to fulfill their 12-strand Diamond Sun DNA potential for ultimately achieving spiritual liberation and cosmic citizenship. What is cosmic citizenship? Cosmic citizenship is when you no longer are identifying as a citizen of just the earth or just a citizen of a man, but you're claiming your sovereignty as a universal spirit or universal soul created from the source that has free will to experience any time, space, dimension at your own will. And that's a different mindset. That's a different embodiment to be in. When you realize that you're able to mentally and spiritually travel and that you're actually not existing only in the third dimensional earth. And when you realize that, you can mentally project yourself into different time spaces consciously and interact with those time spaces in a real moment. Now, they try to tell us that's just fantasy or fake or just a dream world, when really that side of the dimensions is actually a little bit more connected to the light than it is down here in the physical. So it's very intriguing how they invert things like that. They make us think, oh, you can't see it, or it's spiritual, that means it's fake. If you can see it, if you can sense it with your 5 senses, that means it's real. And that has put us in a blender of what is actually reality. Everything is existing. Every dimension, every layer has its own purpose and existence to it. So what we're doing in this third dimension is a valid existence. What we're doing in the fourth and fifth dimensions and what we call like a dream world or a lucid state is also a real valid experience taking place. Neither one is less or more valid. All right. So the Belial and Black Sun agendas have combined forces in order to collaborate together and are the negative agenda. Negative agenda is the global elites, quote unquote, intending to hijack the evolution of the planet for a full domination agenda that is intended to enslave inhabitants into a forced new world order, as well as the ongoing continuation of recycling human souls into slaves, forcibly incarnating them into the lowest densities with soul capture technology. And not to get too far into it, but soul capture technology is simply doing things like adrenochrome, trafficking, raping, disasters, war. All those things fracture souls when they pass in transition because of the trauma that it inhabits on their energy field. And that creates karma, because if you're attached to trauma, that means you have attachment to karma, and then it keeps you recycling. It's very sick. And that's why a lot of us are here, to not play around and bring real healing and real clarity to this planet, because there's some real things going on, and it's time to get out of the passive aggressiveness. The Guardian Host makes reference to the 9/11 Timelines agenda that is designed to initiate or incite Armageddon upon the Earth's surface. What is Armageddon? Armageddon is when they implant the false timeline into your mental programming that we're in an end of the world scenario when we're not. Most of the time when they do that, it's because we're going into a new energy cycle, or we're going into a new phase of energy. Think about 2012, 2000, easy examples where they did that. 2000 came around, they wanted to give us an Armageddon-like scenario. And what happened? There was no Armageddon. That's a prime example of Armageddon programming. False programming to instill fear, doubt, disconnection. So then when we go through new cycles of upgrades and opportunities to continue to ascend, we're then still filled with fear and dense energy, so that vibrationally we are not able to ascend through the cycles that happen, and it keeps us in a trapped cycle. That's why we gotta really dig deep, and we gotta be honest with ourselves, like, do I need to let go of these traumas that I'm carrying? Do I need to really cut out my addictions in my life? Do I need to heal my heart from my relationships that I've been in? Because if those things don't get addressed and we're still carrying those energies, that is what becomes karma. And then we take care of it in the next lifetime or in another. So it's better to just go ahead and face these things now, because we'll have to face it either at another point in this physical life or in another physical incarnation. There's no way around it in this universe. That's how the law of vibration works. All right, we're gonna take a little pause. Got a little promotion for you guys coming up June 19th to 22nd. Love to see you guys come out to Ohio and join us for an Ascended Masters Father's Day Divine Masculine Celebration Retreat. And there's going to be Ascended Master teachings, beautiful workshops, and all sorts of wonderful things going on. Just check out this preview. And if you would like to sign up and get your tickets, they are available now. So reach out And I'd love to see you guys there.
Eyes closed, floating on a lake, sound vibrating through your bones. This is Summer Solstice. Hosted by Sacred Kingdom Community, the Summer Solstice 26 Ascended Masters Retreat is an intentional healing of the divine masculine, balanced with the feminine, to honor Father's Day weekend. 4 days of embodied teachings, ceremonies, and live music in Ohio's Zaleski State Forest at Lake Hope, camping under the canopy, vegetarian brunches and dinners included, a sober, safe container to be vulnerable, supported, and real. Guided by shamanic spaceholder and producer Marcus ChristoLight of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness Sharing Cacao, Galactic Pioneer Wisdom, and more. Sacred Spaceholders. Priestess Jessie of Sacred Phoenix Sisterhood Circle leads ecstatic dance. Kat of Kat's Treasure Tree journeys into shadow with an Anubis obsidian aerospace. Kirsten of Mama K's Creations teaches dreamcatcher weaving. Twin Moon Sisters Cheyenne and Victoria offer a floating sound bath on the lake. More sacred spaces to be announced. Live music by Aura de Prophet, Evan Sturgeon, and Cricket de Gift. Bring a kayak, paddleboard, or floaty for the lake, and free time to drift whenever you feel. June 1922, 2026. Ages 12 plus with adult. No drugs or alcohol. Tickets, $99 for a single day without stay, or $333 for all 3 days with stay. Register via the Jotform link or QR code, or email marcustut23@gmail.com with questions. Come meet your tribe.
The mind's eye, it's in these times we know we're never alone. Where there's a will, where there's a will, there's a way, there's a way. Yeah, the change and the change, well, it's coming, it's here today.
We coasting with potion, high five to the ground, bitch, we chosen. CLE got the flow like the ocean, can escape when your brain is eroding. We got that light, chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight. Yeah, you know we consciously. We got that light, chakras hella bright. Check my triple sight.
It has been written that we are ascending, 'cause we're the descendants of the source of all existence. Yeah, it has been written that we are ascending, 'cause we're the descendants of the source of all existence.
All right. So actually, we're going to watch our first video before closing out the text. And this is going to be the great and wonderful Elizabeth Clare Prophet. And she's going to give us her point of view and her knowledge on Lady Nada.
We come then to Nada, the Lord of the sixth ray. She is the Lady Master, the one feminine being who does serve as one of the lords of the seven rays. These masters are charged by God and by Jesus to help everyone evolving on planet Earth realize their potential on one of these seven rays. They are very busy. It is definitely a full-time job, and that's why they have their universities of the spirit. I'd like to give you an opportunity to sing to all of the Chohans by singing to Nada. But first I want to tell you about Nada. She lived as priestess in the Temple of Love on Atlantis. She was a lawyer on Atlantis, and she also had a healing temple. As a lawyer, she became an expert in the defense of souls oppressed by the spoilers in the earth. Here is a mural reminiscent of her fiery determination to defend the people that were burdened. Her final incarnation was 2,700 years ago, showing that the path of personal Christhood has always been the divine plan for all. Jesus came as a reminder of that path. In that incarnation, she was the youngest of a large family of exceptionally gifted children. The archangel of the third ray, whose name in the feminine manifestation is charity, appeared to her at an early age and taught her to draw God's love from the flame in her heart and to radiate it into the nature kingdom for the blessing of life, to expand her threefold flame for the quickening of the chakras on behalf of her brothers and sisters. As a result of her ministration and service to her family and the keeping of the flame on their behalf, they became accomplished in their fields of endeavor, though she remained anonymous. Her attainment in that life was pure love. She once said in a dictation, "I give you my love, for all else I have already given away." The motto of her disciples is, "I serve, I am my brother's keeper, and the servant is not greater than his Lord." Nada comes to us then in the footsteps of Jesus Christ. It is his path that she teaches. Nada teaches the unfolding of the rose of the heart. She speaks of the heart as a many, many petaled rose. She gives us a training for the mastery of the solar plexus, whose color is purple and gold. Jesus promised his disciples that out of the belly would flow rivers of living water, signifying that the belly, or the solar plexus chakra, is the instrument for the sixth ray, the Piscean age dispensation. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and your solar plexus is the place where you radiate peace. You notice the Buddhas in meditation often have their hands about at that place, either in their lap or at the place of the solar plexus. So the Buddha, or the enlightened one, brings peace. Nada uses Jesus' retreat over Saudi Arabia to teach us, and she develops the sensitivity of the heart of all those petals of the rose for our receiving the gift of the Holy Spirit of diverse kinds of tongues and the interpretation of tongues. She uses the gemstone, the topaz, ruby, alexandrite, and diamond with pearl. The pink topaz has the same function as the yellow topaz, which I already mentioned, which is development of divine wisdom in the heart, as well as the crown, and the work with the secret rays. Alexandrite is extremely rare. It's a green gemstone, first discovered in the Ural Mountains in 1830, so named because it was discovered on the day of Prince Alexander of Russia's coming of age. Its main characteristic is that it changes color. In candlelight or other light, it is rich in red rays, and it turns a violet red. Here's the same alexandrite, which turned violet. Most people think of alexandrite as a violet gem, since many jewelers sell synthetic violet sapphire as alexandrite, even though it does not resemble the true alexandrite.
The preceding lecture was given by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, world-renowned author and spiritual teacher. The Summit Lighthouse is an international spiritual organization dedicated to universal enlightenment. Founded in 1958, the Summit Lighthouse has been a beacon of truth to thousands worldwide and a leader in New Thought spirituality. The preceding program has been brought to you by the Summit Lighthouse. For more information, call 1-800-245-5445 or visit our website at www.tsl.org. Outside the USA, call 406-848-9500 or write to the Summit Lighthouse, 63 Summit Way, Gardner, Montana, 59030, USA.
Lady Nada. Lady Nada. Welcome in, everyone that's just hopping into the space. Welcome, welcome. We're going to go ahead and finish out our text read about Lady Nada, the sixth ray Chohan, the purple ruby that ruby comes from the combination of the purple and gold energy. And we just read a little bit about the diamond sun ruby DNA and how it's been hijacked and polluted on this earth, and how some of us are here to help restore that ruby sun DNA and allow the Holy Spirit to be felt and received again through some human vessels that just are too damaged or too dense to be able to comprehend and really integrate and receive the Holy Spirit ray of light. So Nada is an initiate and master of the path of the ruby ray. She teaches the unfolding of the rose of the heart, helping us to develop the sensitivity of the heart by receiving the gift of the Holy Spirit of diverse kinds of tongues and interpretations of tongues. So you'll notice that some of this stuff here is read by Elizabeth word by word, because she was a main anchor of the Summit Lighthouse, and this is where this information comes from. So I'm gonna see what the Ruby Ray says here on their encyclopedia, just to see what it has to say. All right, the Ruby Ray. So let's see what it has to say on here. Since this is more specifically about the ray exactly, instead of the ruby sun DNA. So the Ruby Ray is an intense and holy love that is devoted through the path of sacrifice, surrender, selflessness, and service to uplift all sentient life. The Ruby Ray activates the first secret ray and ultimately all 5 secret rays. It is the ruby fire of ultimate love that annihilates ignorance and evil. The hierarchy of the Ruby Ray: Jesus Christ or Yeshua, Lord Maitreya, Gautama Buddha, Sanat Kumara, very high spiritual figures in our human consciousness. They are initiators on the path of the Ruby Ray and hold the offices of the hierarchs of the 4 quadrants. These offices, embodied by the 4 cosmic forces, are noted in Ezekiel 1:10 and Revelation 4:7 as the lion, the calf, the man, and the flying eagle. As diagrammed on the cosmic clock, Lord Maitreya represents the Father on the 12 o'clock line, the etheric quadrant, in the office of the lion. Lord Gautama Buddha, the Holy Spirit, on the 9 o'clock line, physical quadrant, in the office of the calf. Jesus Christ, the Son of the 3 o'clock line, mental quadrant, in the office of the man. And Sanat Kumara, the Divine Mother, on the 6 o'clock line, emotional quadrant, in the office of the flying eagle. The path of the Ruby Ray. The path of the Ruby Ray is the path of sacrifice, selflessness, service, and surrender. These 4 precepts are the key to balancing the threefold flame in the 4 quadrants: fire, air, water, and earth, representing the 4 lower bodies: the etheric body, mental body, emotional body, and physical body. Now, Elizabeth has a lot of books that you guys can find. When I say a lot, I mean a lot, like a whole library about specific rays, specific archetypes to connect with. So many really cool books. I'll go ahead and pull up this image as well for you guys to check out on your own. And if you guys want to take a picture of it or journal and jot down anything from it as well, I'm going to leave it up there for a second for you guys. And just allow you guys to look at this, this quadrant clock, so to say, of these 4 different corners. Okay, there you guys go. If you guys just want to check that out for a second. So first you start with slaying the beast of self-love and enter into the crucifixion of the calf. And then you slay the beast of self-indulgence and then enter into the baptism of the lion. The initiation of surrender under the hierarchy of Aquarius, that is slaying selfishness and then entering into the resurrection of the Son of Man. And then it has the initiation of selflessness under the hierarchy of Scorpio. You slay the beast of self-idolatry and self-love and enter into the ascension of the flying eagle. Pretty cool stuff. So this kind of gives you a reference point, like if you work on these things, these kind of principles, these kind of negative traits of yourself, once you slay them, then you activate and you acquire these type of lordships inside of your own self. And you become a lord of those aspects of yourself. And then these outer lords, Yeshua, Buddha, Maitreya, they're all here just to be a mirror and a reflection back to you, for you to take action in your own life while given the tools and the information on how to, because they did it themselves and they know how to. That's why they're ascended masters now, because they've had human incarnations and they graduated from the earth school. They karmically no longer need to come here. So now they teach us how we can karmically not have to come back here. And then one day, some of us as individual souls will then take their positions and they'll be in a different position somewhere else in the universe. And it'll just continue and be a vice versa thing, where we hold different dimensions, different positions, and continue to keep the law of one flowing. All right, so that's the Ruby Ray. Now, last information for Lady Nada. So she is very involved with the initiation and sponsorship of Twin Flames and the Aquarian Age family. She also ministers to the world's children with legions of angels who personally tend to the needs of the youth. Hey, that's really great to know, because I'm gonna go ahead and make a little altar and make a beautiful, beautiful space for Lady Nada to come through into this grid and help us with our sacred community for the kiddos. So I'm definitely grateful for that, and thank you to Lady Nada and that Ruby Ray for being present for us. All right, so the retreats, the Arabian Temple, or the Arabian Retreat. Nada teaches at the retreat of Jesus in the etheric octave over Saudi Arabia, where she instructs on the God mastery of the emotions and the quieting of inordinate desire. This is the mastery of the solar plexus, which is the instrument for the sixth ray. So the rays of light and then the regular color spectrum and the chakras, they are different matrices. So, when we say, the ruby ray or this purple and gold ray helps the mastery of the solar plexus, typically you'd think, oh, purple crown chakra. So these are different matrix systems. And just because a color is associated in one matrix with something doesn't mean it's not going to be associated with something else in another matrix. So this is the ray of the Piscean dispensation, and Jesus is the great master of this ray. He is the Prince of Peace. Nada comes in the footsteps of Jesus Christ and is his path that she teaches. She succeeded him in the office of Chohan of the sixth ray when he assumed the office of world teacher in 1956. So yeah, at some point we have the choice where we can just continue to be a carrier of one specific ray of light, or we can graduate from that and we can become a world teacher where we're embodying all the rays and we're helping anyone and everyone, because we have reached the capacity to vibrationally be able to reach anyone. That's why Yeshua is just so profoundly within everyone's consciousness in some type of fashion, because he's a world teacher now. Rose Temple. She serves in the Rose Temple. Her retreat is located in New Bedford, Massachusetts. Designed after the pattern of a rose, each petal is in a room representing an initiation into the flame of love. In the center of the retreat, there burns the flame of divine love, tended by brothers and sisters of the third ray, the pink ray, for the healing of Earth's evolution by love. And as we close this text, Nada says, I give you my love, for all else I have already given away. The motto of her disciples is, I serve. I am my brother and sister's keeper, and the servant is not greater than his Lord. Ooh. Gosh, I love connecting with these energies. Grand day, Sarah, welcome in. All right, so that will be our text study for today on the sixth ray Chohan. I have a little treat for us to close out this wonderful episode. And that treat is going to be a decree spiritual activation for unbreakable peace, led by Ascended Master Lady Nada of the sixth ray. So this is something that you just get to allow yourself to meditate on, receive, tune in, and just allow the decree to be able to be received and activated through you. You can repeat it if you would like, or just surrender and receive and just allow the frequency and decree to be accepted into your energy field. Or if you don't believe in this stuff, you can just say, I pass and I'm not going to receive. Either way. So go ahead and get yourselves comfortable. I'll take a little pause. And you guys can burn some sage, Palo Santo, grab some crystals if you would like. I know crystals like ruby, garnet, sapphire, quartz, diamond. Those are all really good stones to use to connect with Lady Nada. And just go ahead and get yourself comfortable and get ready to receive. So I'm going to give you guys 44 seconds and we'll be back.
Beloved presence of God that I am in my heart, and beloved ascended Master Nada, enfold me in your unbreakable peace. May this feeling be completely absorbed by the threefold flame in my heart and become a quality of my own being, manifested and at work in this world. May I be a vehicle by which the blessings of the sixth ray are projected for everything and everyone in my sphere of influence. I inspire peace. I am peace. I expand peace. I project peace. May this peace be forever sustained within me and all life on earth. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Beloved presence of God that I am in my heart, and beloved ascended Master Nada, enfold me in your unbreakable peace. May this feeling be completely absorbed by the threefold flame in my heart and become a quality of my own being, manifested and at work in this world. May I be a vehicle by which the blessings of the sixth ray are projected for everything and everyone in my sphere of influence. I inspire peace. I am peace. I expand peace. I project peace. May this peace be forever sustained within me and all life on earth. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am. Beloved presence of God that I am in my heart, and beloved ascended Master Nada, enfold me in your unbreakable peace. May this feeling be completely absorbed by the threefold flame in my heart and become a quality of my own being, manifested and at work in this world. May I be a vehicle by which the blessings of the sixth ray are projected for everything and everyone in my sphere of influence. I inspire peace. I am peace. I expand peace. I project peace. May this peace be forever sustained within me and all life on earth. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am.
Diane, how was that decree? Feel free to share how that was for you in the comments. And I have a beautiful raw piece of ruby for you guys to telepathically and energetically connect with. I'm just going to keep it up here to the screen. If you just want to meditate and gaze, just receive, connect with the ruby ray of light and the beautiful frequencies of it. You can even intentionally think of feeling Lady Nada through it. Maybe just breathe and just do breath work with its energy. Just accepting the ruby ray and these beautiful attributes that we talked about today. Where can we be more in devotion in our life? Where can we serve others instead of ourselves a little bit more? Where can we let go? Let go of any any self-inflicted wounds, and just draw in more peace, more service, more acceptance of divinity, that you are a conscious co-creator. Just drawing in the breath with the ruby. And if you would like, just go ahead and place your hand on your heart. And just feel the heart radiating and unfurling through our density and layers, blooming and blossoming open. And we now carry this with grace, carry this with peace, and carry this with continuation for all life. All right. With that, go ahead and make your way to your physical self. You may return. Feel free to put in the comments as we close if you have any reflections or anything that you would like to share regarding this experience today with this purple, ruby, and gold ray of Lady Nada. All right. So again, if you have any questions, you need some one-on-one guidance, you need a shaman in your life, just reach out. I can help with any of those layers that you could be moving through. If you're looking for retreats, just reach out, hit the QR code, the link in the ticker description, and you can browse my services, retreats coming up, the YouTube channel, Reishi Coffee, Sacred Kingdom community, a worldwide community where you're able to connect with practitioners, readers, organic product makers, as well as many others in our local areas around the world. You know, I actually got a little preview for you guys. I'm not finished editing for you, but I can give you a little sneak in the launch of our official Sacred Kingdom community website that's coming up. And it's pretty exciting because this is going to be such a revolutionary change for the environment and landscape of the way that we're able to access and also be able to provide, receive, and be a part of community when it comes to our holistic mind, body, emotions journey. And it's going to be great. I look forward to it. So it's just loading up, what's about to be launched for you guys to be a part of when it comes to the Sacred Kingdom community. And of course, if you're someone that is a practitioner, you're a visionary, or you're an organic product maker, or anything of that nature, musician, and you want to be part of a conscious community, very much soul family, that's something you can reach out for as well. Take time. And then coming up tonight, you guys can actually tune in tonight as well, 8 p.m. Eastern, for the Raw Material Law of One, where myself and Sandy Marshall will be talking about the raw material. And it's basically channelings that these group of individuals put together, the complex, and that information to the channeler and the group. And then they write it into a book for us to be able to read on what kind of channeled information they get from the being or the energy form Ra. It's so cool. It goes into universal laws, talks about the chakras, talks about different major figures in our history and why they did what they did in their incarnation and things of that nature, including Adolf Hitler, Jesus, and many other figures as well. The universe is funny, man. The universe is always wanting you to be patient when you want something. There we are. All right. So this is a very, very sneak peek look into a preview for our Sacred Kingdom Worldwide website that is about to launch. Now, this isn't edited yet, but I'm going to be making this even more tailored to what it is that I'm trying to present. But you're going to get the idea by the narration and the things that are a part of this. So get ready, as this launch is going to be a big, big upgrade to our lives and what we're capable of accessing for our everyday holistic life.
Imagine booking a soul session, ordering crystals, and joining a live retreat from your phone. For too long, finding the right healers, the right products, the right community has meant endless searching across scattered corners of the internet. That changes now. The Sacred Kingdom has arrived, an online hub where a worldwide directory of holistic practitioners, readers, life guides, organic makers, musicians, a crystal shop, books, and more are all waiting for you. Book one-on-one sessions, order products, and discover Kingdom members serving locally in your area, all from your fingertips, wherever you are, whenever you're ready. Stay connected to upcoming events and retreats, both online and in person. Tap into a YouTube channel built for real conversation, hands-on holistic learning, and free giveaways. And there's more coming: courses, programs, a holistic recipe book, and the Sacred Kingdom Mystery School Academy mentorship. This is a space built on love, compassion, and the belief that conscious living should be accessible to all walks of life. Visit thesacredkingdom.com, and if you feel called to build from within, email Marcus ChristoLight at marcustut23@gmail.com about joining the Kingdom Council. The Kingdom is open.
That's right. Sacred Kingdom website. It's about to officially launch here within the next couple of weeks. You guys will be able to book one-on-one healing sessions with any of our practitioners around the world, online or in person. You'll be able to purchase crystals through the Organic Essence Crystal Shop. You'll be able to organically have products for body washing, shampoo, and tinctures, herbal remedies, and things of that nature. You'll also be able to purchase a holistic recipe book. There's going to be other books for everyday life that we're going to be dropping from a multitude of members. We're also going to have courses and programs that we're going to be unleashing. We're going to have a blog, a private community for you guys to build in. And then we're going to have a shop as well, where you guys can purchase different attire and apparel and support and purchase things like crafts and art projects and so many different things. And then we also have musicians, so you can receive musician mentorship or artist mentorship. And then we have holistic business consulting, where you can establish a new holistic business for yourself and really see what that looks like tangibly, and how to work the steps with people that can support you along the way. Along with that, we're getting a kiddos community going. We're getting a men's group going on. We already have members that are leaders of women groups. We're connected to metaphysical shops that are in partnership. We're connected to hemp dispensaries that are in partnership. We are making locations in Georgia when it comes to land and the opportunities that come with land. We're also making a hub in Costa Rica, Sedona, and it's going to keep on growing. So if you want this movement, check. This is a real thing. This is a real community that's doing some real change on this planet. There's a lot of opportunities. And then, of course, too, we're content. We bring content to the online world, and that's always available to tap into, hop on cast, hear your knowledge and wisdom as well. And then lastly, and this is going to be exciting, I'd say within maybe the summer, we're going to be launching our official Mystery School Academy, and we're going to be having mentorship programs, courses, and it's going to be available for the public to sign up to become a mentee or a mentorship member, and then you get to access the academy and the mystery school, and then you get to develop and build with others in that community as well. So it's going to be dope, and I look forward to everything that is to come and continue to manifest and unfurl with us. And for now, that does it here. I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern for the Raw Material Law of One. And then I will all see you guys tomorrow on the night Eastern. With Saint Germain a little bit in the Violet Flame. This will be your opportunity to dive in deep and really uncover the true origins of these energies. Till then. (2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending. Thank you from the Sacred Light Broadcast Network and Sacred Light Productions for tapping in and tuning in to all live and replay content, holistic, conscious, for your empowerment. Tap in to the Christ light within. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember that you are the one that you have been looking for. Enjoy this content. If you would like to collaborate or receive production through myself, Marcus ChristoLight, direct message or email me at marcustut23@gmail.com to discuss details. Wholeness and balanced love. Ashe.